Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to the English online class. Today we are going to further continue with the lesson How the Camel Got His Hump part 2. So we are taking up the text of this lesson. We had already done a video based on the overview of this lesson. So the lesson begins like this. This is by the famous writer Rudyard Kipling. Let us first have a quick recap of the first part of the lesson. In the beginning, when the world was new and animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel who lived in the middle of the desert. And he didn't want to work. He used to just say hump. So when the first thing, Monday morning, the horse came with a saddle on his back, and he asked him to come and trot like the rest of the animals. But the camel refused and said only hump. Then the next person, the next animal to come to him was the dog with a stick in his mouth. And he said, "Come, O camel, fetch and carry like rest of us." But the camel only said, so the dog went away and he told the man. Now even ox came to him with a yoke on his neck, asked him to plow, but the camel only said, hump. So when the ox, dog, horse complained to the man called them. And then he said, "I am very sorry for you, but the camel is not working. So now you are going to work double so that you can make up for the camels who is not working at all." Now these three animals, they were very angry and they held a meeting in the edge of the desert. So the camel was also there listening, laughing and only saying hump. Then there happened to pass by a jinn who was the controller of the entire forest. And when they complained to the jinn said, "Fine, I am going to see to this. You just wait a minute." Now the jinn remonstrated with the ant camel who said hump. We are taking up part 2. The camel's beautiful back suddenly grew a lump, which was the camel's hump. The jinn assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. So this is what we are going to read in part 2. These are the brief points. So let us continue further, part 2. The jinn rolled himself up in the dust cloak. The cloak, the cloth, the covering that the jinn was wearing was of dust. And he took a walk across the desert, found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So the camel was there and he was looking at his own reflection in the pool of water, thinking himself to be very beautiful. "My friend," said Jinn, "what's this? I hear of your doing no work." So Jinn questioned the camel. He said, "I am hearing that you are doing no work." The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. So he was admiring his beauty. "You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning." He said, "You were given work since Monday morning and you have not done those work. So now these are the 3 days extra work on account of your idleness, because you were lazy. You did not want to work. So your work has piled up. 3 extra work because you did not work for 3 days," said the jinn. "So now you have to cover up." And he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So the jinn was thinking. You can see in the picture. "Hump," said the camel. "I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the Jinn. You might say it once too often. I want you to work. So now the Jinn became strict. He said, I should not be saying this to you because uh, if you say harm too often, it is going to do you harm. And I want that you should work. And the camel said humph again. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back that he was so proud of, puffing up and puffing up into a great hump. So he was looking at his reflection saying humph, and then he could see his reflection. The back that he was so proud of was puffing up, and a big hump was formed at his back. Do you see that? Said the Jinn. That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your own self by not working. So he said that this is a hump which has been formed on your back because of your own deeds, because you were not working. Today is Thursday, and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. Now you are going to work. So he said, it is Thursday, 3 days work you have not done, and now you have to start working. How can I, said the camel, with this hump on my back? So the camel said, how can I work? Because I have got a hump on my back. That has a purpose, said the Jinn. This hump that is formed has some meaning. All because you missed those 3 days. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating because you can live on your hump. He said it is because it has a purpose. This hump that has been formed on your back because you have not done work for 3 days. Now, because of this hump, you are going to work for 3 days without food, without eating, because you can live on your hump. The extra storage would be on your hump. So you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say, I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. And now don't say anything. Don't complain because I have given you hump on your back. And now you can go and you join the other animals and behave properly by working. And the camel went away to join the tree. The rest of the 3 animals, camel joined them. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump. Now it is not called hump, it is called hump. Not to hurt his feelings. Means otherwise the camel would think it as a punishment. So, to respect his feelings, instead of hump, by making fun of him for not working, and that is why he has got a hump on his back, now we use a very respectable word called hump. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. So the camel, because he neglected, he did not work for those 3 days, which were when the world began, and that is why he is never able to make up. And at the same time, he has never learned to behave. So children, the story has a message. And the message is that we should not be postponing our work for the other day, because the work will pile up and then we will all have to suffer like the camel. So whatever work is allotted to you, try to do it on that very day. Don't let the work pile up. Otherwise, just like the camel was stressed up and he had to work every day, all the time, to make up for those 3 days when he did not work. So children, story has a message, and the message is that whatever work you are given, try to finish it on that particular day. So we stop here, and uh, after listening to the lesson, you just write down the points in your copies along with your doubts, any questions that you have. So we'll discuss this in the Google Meet class. Thank you. Have a nice day and take care.